bunch of trades today. I had some very good ones and I had some bad ones. So I ended up just modestly in the green, but it's pretty frustrating. So let me show you what I did. I'm quite sick, so my voice is really screwed up, and I might sneeze here in a few minutes. But um, right out of the gate, at like 4 minutes after the market opened, I took AMD short. Very small trade. I didn't really trust it. I thought it might get down to the previous day's low here, but this is the previous day low, but from the day before is this one here. So anyway, it got down here and I took it off. I made like 26 bucks. So that was basically a scratch. I only took one contract. Then NVIDIA, I thought if AMD was going to turn around, which I suspected it would, then NVIDIA would as well. And I got into this trade, and I think I got in on this candle right here. So of course that went against me. I got out, right, pretty much right away. I didn't spend any time on here, but I did end up losing $1,300 because I put a decent size into the trade, and I also they were out of the money calls, and so those lose value just incredibly quickly. So I'm trying to experiment to see what's the smartest way for me to kind of maximize the upside. But anyway, then I had a very good trade on Microsoft, which was great. Let me bring this up here. Okay, so I took this trade. Gosh, it might have been right on this candle here. I'll show you the executions, but whether it was here or in this, it wasn't on the flag. It was before the flag. So then it came up and it built this flag, and then it just took off. I should have held it all the way up here, of course. That would have been ideal, but I didn't know. This was a pretty significant sell-off off the morning high. So I actually took it off at this high of day. So I scaled out and then took my last position off on this green candle. So I missed the second half of the move, but I made good money. I'll show you what I made on that. Let me see here. Microsoft, I made $2,177 on that trade. So that was a nice trade. And then the one I took right after that was even better. That was Amazon. So I got into Amazon right here as it was consolidating above the closing range of yesterday, and it was above the 50% line. So this blue line is 50%, the 50% line of the trading range so far. So it develops as the day progresses. But this right here, it's a very good delineation of whether or not the stock is bullish or bearish. I view it similarly as I view the VWAP. But it's a slightly different. Obviously, it measures something different, but it's very useful. So it was above the closing range of yesterday, and it was above the 50% line. So I got in, and this thing took off, which was great. I wanted to ride it to a previous day high, and then this big candle came, and it spooked me out. So I ended up cutting the rest of my position here, which was unfortunate because, of course, it just kept going right up. But I did scale out, and even though this is a very small move, I ended up making like over $3,000 on this trade. So let me see, $3,400 on that trade. So it's incredible when you're using out of the money calls or out of the money puts, they really move. And of course, you can get hit pretty hard if it goes the wrong way. But if it goes in your favor, you can make a bunch of money really quickly. But anyway, this is where my luck pretty much ended. So at this point, I was up, I think, over 4,000 or very close to 4,000. But then after this, things just got bad. And the cues, in fact, let me show you the cues. I'm sorry for my voice. I'm quite sick, so I apologize for that. So the cues came up here and broke over the closing range of yesterday, or rather Friday. But then during this consolidation, it just didn't have any conviction, and it ended up coming back down. So a lot of the positions that I was taking, it just wasn't. Meanwhile, it didn't have follow through the downside either. So this is pretty much just a consolidation here. So a lot of the trades, I had those 2 morning great trades on Microsoft and Amazon, but after that, it just went south. So let me see what I took. Yeah, Tesla. So I took 3 trades on Tesla, and I made money on one of them, but I lost money on 2 of them. So I got in this little formation here and scaled out here, but it came back hard. And so I don't remember if I made money on this or if I didn't. But in any case, I mean, the whole thing. So I was expecting a second half of the move, which is what happened here, but it never even got back up to high of day. So, and meanwhile, it came down once and then twice, and then even the third time, it came down again. So, and this, I think I took this trade in here as well. So I took it three different times and lost money. Not I don't think I lost money in every case, but I ended up losing 2,200 on that trade. So pretty frustrating. So then after that, since everything looked like it was going south, I took a short trade on AMD, and that I took that short right about here as it was approaching previous day low. I figured it made a lower high, like this is a higher high, this is a lower high, and I thought it was going to go revisit the lows of the day. And of course, as soon as I took it, it bounced back, and I got out in this area because I didn't, I just whatever didn't trust it. So sure enough, it did come back down, but not for long, and then it came back up here. So this is chop. This is very difficult to trade. So I lost money on that. What else? Tesla again. Then I got back into Microsoft and I made some money on Microsoft because at one point I was down $1,300, and I got back into Microsoft right in here, and it came up a little bit and then made this flag, which took about 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and then it started to come up, but it was, excuse me, it was grinding price action. There was no conviction. I was hoping it would go back up to high of day, but it wasn't. So I got out of the I think on this green candle right here, or this green candle is when I took the rest of my position off. So I did make money, brought me back basically to a scratch for the day. I think I was down $33. And I was annoyed, of course, because at one point I was up a lot more, but I wanted to at least be green. So I ended up taking a little scalp trade on the Qs after this high volume flush. So this is what I call an action candle. An action candle is any candle that has at least twice the regular volume and at least twice the regular range. And this candle qualified. And meanwhile, it happened on a whole bunch of different stocks. Like I have a little sound that gives me a ring sound every time that happens. Like, in fact, we just got one here on Microsoft. So let's take a look at what happened on Microsoft here. So we just got an action candle on Microsoft, and here it is here. So here's that candle. So it's a significant price move with twice the average volume. So that just triggers. So in any case, I watch these, and when these come up, it quite often marks a turning point or a new trend or a confirmation of a trend or whatever the case may be. But it happened on a whole bunch of stocks all at once. So I knew something was going on. And so I waited for this green candle and I took a short here and just wrote it down to the low of day. So it was very, very short scalp trade, but it was enough to put me in the green by 280 some dollars, $282. So not a great day for me for sure. I will tell you that I am looking at the SpaceX trade because let me see here. SpaceX, excuse me. So take a look at this price action. We had a huge day on Friday, big breakout, high volume day. And so the question is, are we going to have a follow through day or not? If we're going to have a follow through day, then it's got to close above the high that was on Friday and ideally close to the highs of the day. I believe we probably will get that, which means that this price action here will probably resolve to the upside. And once it breaks above previous day high, and above the 50% line, they're overlapping. You can see the 50% line here. So, and it's basically overlapping. So that means that if it gets above here, I've got an alert set. You can see that alert, that little yellow triangle. So if it breaks above, then it's above the closing range of Friday. It's above the previous day high, and it's above the 50% line. So if that triggers, then I will take that trade and see if I can ride it up back up to high of day. But it hasn't happened yet, and so I just thought I'd record the video. So anyway, took a ton of trades today. It was a little bit chaotic. I got some great winners. I had some shitty losers. So overall, I made $282. And here are my fills. Like, this is insane. I just took so many trades today. So I actually just put in a request for to lower my commissions and fees because I'm paying too much in commissions and fees. And especially when you're buying out of the money calls and puts, they're very cheap. And so the percentage that the fee is of the total purchase is much higher than if you buy, calls that are say $2 to $3 or higher, where the percentage is a lot lower. So anyway, I'm going to see what they said they have to review it and get back to me. So, but you can see all these executions. So you can try and reverse engineer this if you want, but it's chaos. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.